Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Welcome to the Higher Education Virtual Expo 2023 webinar session. With me today is Yang Mulia, Tuan Adna Shatriremie bin Haji Abd Rahman, Head of Entrepreneurship Innovation Centre from Ministry of Education, who will be presenting a topic on entrepreneurship in higher education. Without further ado, I invite you to start your presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Puan Shaira, for inviting us to this particular platform. First and foremost, let me first introduce myself. My name is Adna Shatriremie Haji Abd Rahman. Currently, we have a small team under Ministry of Education looking after entrepreneurship and innovation. If I may, on the slide, what you can see is actually we have prepared a few bits of slide. So that's what we call EIC in brief. EIC standing for Entrepreneurship Innovation Centre. In Malay, we are Pusat Keusahawan dan Inovasi. So even though at the beginning of the day, EIC actually is based on the core education. However, our scope is actually merangkumi, if I may use bilingual again, merangkumi primary, secondary, higher education. So today, for the purpose of today, Alhamdulillah, we are very thankful to higher education to allow us to actually share initiative of EIC. If I may go to the next slide. EIC, I think just a very brief one. EIC, the vision of EIC is technically to provide a quality, entrepreneurial, innovative education towards our dynamic nation. The most important bit about EIC is the purpose of EIC, how it exists back in 2020, is for the purpose of aligning, synergizing all the entrepreneurial initiatives under Ministry of Education. Most important is to create a value-added and impactful educational experience. This is important because at the end of the day, the mindset and sustainability is the one that we're actually looking for after. Because to us, a very enriching educational experience would actually ensure that students are able to go into the employability side. So we will talk about more of this later during the example, inshallah. For the next slide, what we basically do in a few words is to create awareness. I know and we all believe that entrepreneurship and innovation have already existed in the platform of education within the ministry. As we mentioned earlier, we wanted to actually give more synergy and alignment so that when we have our activity going on, it will be in line for students that started from primary, secondary, up to higher learning. They understand what's the use of entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial mindset education into the innovation mindset. So this is something just to show you what EIC is actually, the role of EIC is to support the jabatan-jabatan, bahagian-bahagian pusat di bawah Kementerian Pendidikan to actually function its role within the ministry to serve the teachers and students. Next, please. I think for those who are a little bit aware of what is a startup, so I think here we just throw a slide that actually, hopefully those who are exposed to the idea of entrepreneurship and education, entrepreneurship, education, innovation, you see that at the primary level, we are letting the students to get a bit of idea of what the business plan is. Now, because the thing is, for business plan, technically anybody can do a business plan, but a purposeful business plan that has a bit of relationship to education. Now, that is something a bit more fun and interactive. We will share with you after this how EIC have done a few activities from the primary, secondary, even higher learning side. So this is something that is interesting. So for the secondary, we put that validating. So you can just imagine when you have a little bit of primary and business plan. So technically on the secondary, the students are actually trying to validate, trying to prove that what they come up with is actually working. At the pre-uni and higher institution, we actually have prototyping, literally making a bit of project or assignments or modules to see what they have actually come up with can be transferred into a prototype, the one that you can see or the service that you can feel. At the end of the day, we hope that the students will be able to actually share their creative ideas, able to pitch this to the investors, to their future employers on what are the beautiful things that can arouse out of entrepreneurial mindset and innovation thinking. Next, thank you. Now, if I may, how does EIC reach out? Literally, we've formed several partnerships, but let me just first introduce you internally what we do. At point number one, if you look into quadrant number 2, we have actually competition that we can actually share with you. EIC have been doing a lot of activities for the primaries for Chilik Bees, the one that we actually partake with Jabatan Pendidikan core curriculum and Entrepreneurship Innovation Centre are actually having a bit of fun in terms of coming up with entrepreneurial and innovative education activities, turning it into a bit of competition. So this is where the students at a very young age are exposed to the idea of entrepreneurship and innovative thinking. So this is happening mostly into year 4 and year 5, or as people say, Darjah 4, Darjah 5. The second one, if you look at that, year 9 and year 10, Form 3, Form 4, for those who are like me, we have a bit of a big start that actually focuses on students which are more into creativity, innovative thinking, and at the same time as well, we have Jabatan Pendidikan Khas Bootcamp Project. This is where we actually have the students to practice the theories that they've learned in class, the ideas that they've actually pitched out to the guru. So these are the platform that we can actually share students to interact amongst students and school teachers amongst across schools. This is one of the few initiatives that can actually be looked into at the national level. So you will have more information at the IG, which we will give out later, EIC_MOE. So at the outer skirt, technically what we do beyond education as well is also, example, coordinating and co-organizing entrepreneurship competition. One example that we can share with you is BIM Yaga competition. We was just held less than a year ago, which is called under BIM Yaga. Okay, so that involves national competing with Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Philippines. So at the end of the day, when you look at point number 3, we have the Global Entrepreneurship Week. Global Entrepreneurship Week, or short form GEW, it is an event held internationally and globally where students and higher institutions around the world will actually be exposing the idea of what is entrepreneurship, how students enjoy it, what do you learn from entrepreneurship, and how is it useful for you at the end of the day, technically for your employability. Because for those of you who are looking into to become a startup or to become a studentpreneur, this is something that you can actually see as a benchmark. So Global Entrepreneurship Week is held every single year, normally either on the 2nd or the 3rd week in November. So you will see Entrepreneurship Innovation Centre, EIC, will be joining the platform together with 180 countries and not less than 40,000 vendors. Now, these are for the purpose of education and sustainability. And internally, to point number 4, I think everyone here is very familiar with LiveWire and Darussalam Enterprise, a short form there. Our collaborations to these 2 key partners or 2 key stakeholders are very important, because at the end of the day, our students would be landing on their platform the moment they have the interest on entrepreneurship and innovation. So LiveWire, Darussalam Enterprise indeed our next platform for the students to actually practice the pragmatic side of the ideas that they have creatively come up with. On the top there, we have heard of the programs which is called Micro Boot Camps by Directional Enterprise, Business Livewire by Livewire, and Top 10 Innovators Accelerator. All these efforts are just to exercise what the students have learned. Now, this is really important because at the end of the day, for us to actually help our government is to actually enable employability happening within education and post-education. So this is a little bit of in a nutshell how EIC is reaching out. So you can see at the bottom part, now, this is quite important. What EIC is doing, EIC activities, technically, we're doing mostly online activities because we want to reach out to as much. But at the end of the day, EIC activities will be held on offline and online. Reaching up to the next slide. Now, our resources under EIC, we have 30 videos, and Alhamdulillah, the 30 videos will be available, are available for the students and teachers, but our focal point will be the teachers. So the 30 videos we will show you after the slide after this will be the resources that students can learn in class before they come and meet us up online and offline. The next one is actually programs. These programs, after looking at the videos, students and teachers will actually be able to form a little bit of exposure. Example, when you are in one of the higher learning institutions in Brunei, whether it is UTB, UBD, UNISA, Polytechnic, IPTE. So you will have a bit of choices from the programs that you can create with EIC. So EIC will then formulate a program customizing to your particular needs. So much of this will be mentioned out in the next few slides. Yeah. The next one is coffee and chendol chat. Now this one is a bit interesting, not just because it's coffee and chendol, but it's also because we will share with you who are our stakeholders that you can actually interact with within our network. The EIC TV, this is the next one. We'll be sharing this again. And at the end of the day, we are very humble and proud to share with you, inshallah, dengan izin Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, we will be launching our virtual reality platform in the near future through piloting, inshallah. Next slide, please. Our way forward for EIC is to form an ecosystem which is very sustainable. First, I think I'm not going to read everything, but the most important bit for us is actually the entrepreneurial awareness. But most important to that is how we can actually transform our entrepreneurship initiative through the curriculum and core curriculum, because these are the two platforms which are very dear to Ministry of Education. As can you imagine, when you go to class, you can actually practice the subjects that are related to entrepreneurship and innovation, but indirectly, it's actually part and parcel of your curriculum. On the other side, on the co-curriculum side, you're able to do co-curriculum activities, especially those that are related to creativity. This is something which we are forming and working together closely within our stakeholders internally within MOE. At the end of the day, we have on the left side stakeholder collaboration, community support, and governance that can actually allow us to look into how to perform better in terms of between stakeholders and Ministry of Education through Entrepreneurship Innovation Centre when it comes to entrepreneurship and innovation, behavior, action, and also curriculum. Next one. So, of course, we have just now, I forgot to mention, Brew IPO is our learning partner as well, because we want the students to be protected with their ideas. This is where Brew IPO or Brunei Intellectual Property Office is coming into an important role with Ministry of Education. Next. These are the 30 videos, partly. So these are the videos that the length of duration is only 5 to 6 minutes, and students will be able to actually get a little bit of guidelines in terms of how to become an entrepreneur, who are the entrepreneur, how do I set up a business, how do we perform creativity and negotiation. So this is something that we can actually look into the core education side. Whereas for the next slide, we have the next slide that actually look into higher education videos. Now, I think most of you are maybe exposed to the idea of business model canvas. But we do not forget here, one of our most important videos are actually Melayu Islam Belajar and Entrepreneurship. You would be surprised how entrepreneurship are taking a lot of good characters in terms of how to become an entrepreneur through a proper MIB philosophy. And of course, I think sebagai negara zikir, we are actually looking into embedding the right niat when becoming a startup. Of course, embedding the right intention to become a startup, that is really important because technically at the end of the day, our activity are based on our niat as well and our effort. So hopefully these 30 videos will help the students and the teachers to see how they can actually look into this particular scenario, hopefully within the time you enter the university or even after the university. That's why we wanted to actually start early from primary, secondary, then university. Next one, please. Now these are just some examples in terms of the EIC activities. You can pronounce it also as activities. So technically, these are the activities that we do online. So we have the participation of teachers from secondary, from primary, even from higher education students, literally coming in to help other students in terms of learning how to become more innovative and how to become more entrepreneurial. You can also see from this process here, some teachers are kind enough when they discovered a certain really good method or simplified method to solve a problem. They will be sharing with other teachers from other schools as well, including institutions. The next one. So, of course, internationally, EIC, Alhamdulillah, has been supported by the ministry to go into conferences, virtual conferences. This was technically within the year of 2021 and 22. So technically, EIC has been very active. One of the one that happened in the beginning of 2021 was where we became the judge, international judge for Harvard University in the United States of America. So this enabled to show that EIC is on the right track in terms of developing the teachers and students for the purpose of entrepreneurial mindset and innovation. So thank you as well to our international network and stakeholders for allowing us to be part and parcel of their activities in terms of TS, area, Harvard University, and also US ASEAN International Internship Webinar. Next, please. Now, this is the one that we mentioned, coffee and chendol. So if those of you are interested to share how the taste of coffee and chendol, make sure you also have the time to actually look into our topics. We can see from the first one, EIC Coffee and Chendol chat, we started with, can I be an entrepreneur? So the people that we invite, these are people from higher education. When they were student and becoming a student entrepreneur, these are students who have even passed graduation. So you can actually play our video and look into what they say, their experience in becoming a student entrepreneur. The second one, we actually invited our partner from Livewire and then telling them how the collaboration would be. The third one, we are actually forming a collaboration and a discussion between entrepreneurs from UNICEF and then also educators from Kupu SB. At the end of the day, our activity with Livewire has also been shared on Coffee and Chendol Chat. So technically, this is part and parcel of how to attract each other. The next one would be our partnership with our informal partnership with Blue IPO as well. So Blue IPO has the ability to inform how is, I think, to be honest with you, Blue IPO has been actively sharing collaborations among higher institutions, including with the EIC. Next, thank you. Now, so for any questions or any curiosities in terms of what is EIC, what have they been doing, you can actually even reach us out at EIC YouTube channel. So this is something that that even includes our effort at the secondary, even primary sector. So what I mentioned just now in terms of how EIC, how starts innovation and entrepreneurship early, can actually be seen from the Chilling Bees competition for year 4 and 5, for Big Start competition for year 9 and 10, for BIM Yaga competition, for even hackathon by the stakeholders. So you can actually have a look at the EIC YouTube channel. The next one would be, next slide is, for those of you, as a sample, for those of you, dear students, who are keen in terms of learning entrepreneurship. So technically we have one example here, how entrepreneurship course is done at the university. One example that we could actually see here is from one IG, which is bb2203_ubd.bn. You can go into this particular IG and you can see how students are actually enjoying the course. So this course is actually developed for the purpose of guiding students and teachers. It even can actually, to be honest with you, it even has, we have actually validated that students and teachers or even master students are enjoying from this particular IG, because they have learned how to pitch, how to do research method, how to even come up with a business idea, how to become more innovative. So this is something which you can see. So hop on to bb2203_ubd.bn. This is the course by one of the undergraduate course held by UBD, School of Business and Economics, at Higher Education side UBD. So hopefully this will help, yeah? And then the next one would be thanking you. But if you have any question, if I may ask Puan Shaira, are we on for a question now?
Yeah, sure.
We are reachable through the website, Instagram, and YouTube. Yeah, so feel free to scan the QR code. So hopefully you can actually be able to enjoy the resources that we actually have with you. The information that we have actually shared with you are prepared by the team at EIC, our dear team members and our student interns from various higher learning institutions. So thanking them so much for all this preparation. So we're ready for Q&A, Puan Shaira?
Yes, ready. Thank you, Tuan, for your presentation. Before we moving on to Q&A session, I'd like to remind that we have 6 minutes left. So now we're open for Q&A session. First question, how do you measure innovation?
All right. We have a very simple approach to innovation. First, the condition of innovation to me is you have to be able to simplify. Example, if you're so used to do things in 5 or 6 steps, to innovate, to have it to become more innovative, you have to be able to cut down the steps to maybe 3 to 4 steps. Even better, 2 to 3 steps. An example would be why this is important to education is, if I were to ask a student, would you like to do your assignment or your homework within 3 hours to 4 hours, or would you like to be able to do it within 20 to 30 minutes? So that ability to simplify an existing process to make it a bit more attractive, interesting, and more impactful, that is how we measure innovation. I hope that answers, but more answers can actually be given by engaging us after this particular session. Hopefully that's okay, Puan Shaira.
Okay, next question from Azmi Manaf. He asks, I would like to enroll into UTB actually. Is there any courses similar to the BB2202 course from UBD?
Can I repeat that? The student is interested for UBD. UBD,
Yep.
right, Puan Shaira? Okay. For University Brunei Darussalam, Alhamdulillah, they have a lot of entrepreneurship modules. They even have a major entrepreneurship program. If I may, if I may have some notes here. So if you have, if you are admitted to UBD School of Business and Economics, they have a Bachelor of Business focusing on entrepreneurship major. The course just now that I mentioned, BB2203, is something that belongs to the second year. So that is called Entrepreneurship and New Venture Creation. That is apart from many other courses. I'm asked to inform you that UBD has a major entrepreneurship course that has variety of other courses, example, entrepreneurial finance, theoretical foundation of entrepreneurship, innovation management, venture growth strategies, startup growth and sustainability. Now, this particular course, I do have a bit of information. BN 4203 Startup Growth and Sustainability. The idea is to have it at the final year for 2 semesters. At the end of the day, it will help you to become a startup, a real startup, not a startup by book, but a startup by venture. So this is something that I can share with you, but please reach out to UBD SBE. I think they have a wonderful website. But of course, for those who are interested in joining other universities, example, UTB, UTB, UNISA, Polytechnic Brunei, and also IBTE. They have a lot of wonderful programs as well. And these are something which we can share. So we are more than happy to share with you and to refer you to the excellent universities around Eden Brunei for entrepreneurship. Thank you for that question.
It looks like we're almost time. Maybe one last question, Saha. What would be your
Sure.
future plan widening the entrepreneurship skill to the students at higher institutions?
Can I repeat the first 2 seconds? What is your wants, Ponchela?
What will be your future plan to widening the entrepreneurship to the students at higher institutions?
Okay, thank you, Pansharda. I think that sums up to all the, wherever you are in the higher learning industry, technically why we actually have entrepreneurship as a course is because first we want to create awareness that entrepreneurship is a viable career. Second, we want to create interest for the students to actually be interested in terms of knowing what are the courses, what are the disciplines, what are the other requirements that we have. The third part is actually how do you create value out of learning from this particular courses. So these particular courses, to be very honest with you, it helps to prepare you to the employability side when you want to become an entrepreneur. However, if you do not become an entrepreneur, you can actually graduate with entrepreneurial mindset that helps you to be an impactful student, a graduate student with entrepreneurial mindset and innovative thinking. So I hope we can actually discuss on this particular matter when we have time or offline after this one through our reach out. EIC, you can reach out through our EIC Instagram or even through email. I hope, thank you so much for having us online, on behalf of HU. Hi.
Okay, thank you, Amelia, for answering the questions. We hope this session has been beneficial for